Hello, welcome back to the show, my angels. My name is Graham, and I will be your guide. Okay, let's hear from this week's channel. Dear Graham, I'm writing because I've really been struggling with the recent passing of my grandma. Oh, Petal, my condolences. We lost her 3 weeks ago after my dad found her laid out on her kitchen floor when he came to visit her after work one day. Oh dear, the story is just heartbreaking. It doesn't make much sense to me though, because yes, she was 69 years old, but she was in perfect health with no underlying conditions. I've really struggled to accept how quickly she left us and how out of the ordinary it seems to be. How can someone in such good health with such a loving and kind heart just leave you like that? With my whole family grieving and emotionally unavailable, I'm finding it really difficult to cope. I'm in desperate need of someone to open up to on how I'm feeling right now. Please, can you be that person, Graham? Oh, darling, of course I can. Thanks again, and I look forward to hearing from you. Elijah. Oh, Elijah, I can't remember the last time I was touched by a fan's story like that. Of course, I would like to help you. And I'm getting word now that we've actually got in touch with Elijah over telephone. So, hi Elijah, are you there,
Hi,
pet? How are
hi,
you doing?
hello. Yeah, I'm, I'm hanging in there. Yeah,
Petal, I think I speak on behalf of all of our audience on guidance of Graham when I say that your name is just so fun to say. Wait, Elijah definitely gave me a wee chuckle in the briefing room this morning.
well, the thing is, Graham, I've got a lot going on, and I do find it quite offensive that.
Okay, let's get down to business then, my angel. I know this has been a really challenging time for you and you've been struggling and feeling isolated from other members of your family. Can I ask how old you are exactly?
Oh, well, I'm 15.
Gosh, so young. That's that's terrible. And am I right in thinking that you were close with your granny? Like really quite close? Am I right in saying that you were perhaps a special favourite?
um, I was a bit. I was the first grandson on her side of the family.
Oh, I bet you were the apple of her eye, Cherub. And did you ever get up to a wee bit of mischief with your granny?
She was, she was my dad's mum, so we often used to hide his stuff, so he'd have to root around to find it in the house.
Hide his stuff? Like what exactly?
Nothing serious, just like little things like his glasses and his wallet. Uh, it used to really get on his nerves though.
Oh, Elijah, you little devil. No, I'm only joking, pet. It sounds lovely what you and your granny got up to together. But how's your dad been taking it exactly?
It's hard to say really. Him and my mother, they're separated, and ever since he's just been so distant. He's always had a bit of a sour relationship with my grandma though.
Right. And my team had told me that he was an only child. Is that right?
Yes, he was.
It seems like he spent a lot of his childhood feeling quite alone, to be fair. And the family looks quite wealthy too, as I understand. Your granny must have spoilt you something rotten, huh, darling?
She did a bit. We used to go shopping together. We'd buy loads of stuff like toys, games, oh, and different kinds of sweets.
That sounds lovely, pet. I have a bit of a sweet tooth myself. What's your favourite treat exactly?
Same as my grandma. Tutti sweets.
Tootie sweets?
Yeah, similar to things like jelly beans. Sometimes, if she ever needed to pick me up, I'd bring her some over when I went to see her.
That's just adorable. How often do you take these sweets around to your granny?
A few times a week, though more recently, because she kept getting these mild stomach aches, nothing serious, but I just thought, they'd help her feel a bit better.
Right. Okay. There's no easy way to say this exactly, Pet, and it's probably a bit early and raw for you to be hearing something like this, but here on Guidance with Graham, we feel that the guests have a right to know everything
Know
that we
what,
do. Uh,
Graham?
oh, Elisha, my team have been doing some digging, and we've been in touch with the police, witnesses, and whoever else we can find information from to help find out what happened to this beloved member of your family. And oh, Elijah, there's no easy way of saying this, but your gran didn't have an accident. She was murdered. Murdered in cold blood.
I
And we know who did it, Pet. The the deed, the murdering of your granny, unapologetically, mercilessly, and in cold blood.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
I'm so sorry to spring this onto you, darling. I know it must be.
Who? Who did this? Who?
Well, that's the thing, Elijah. Are you sure you really want to
Yes,
know?
yes, of course I want to know.
Well, remember what you said about your granny had collapsed in the kitchen?
Yeah, she passed out on the floor.
Wrong. And do you remember how your dad said he found her on his way back from work one day?
Well, yeah, he was the first one to find her after she'd gone.
Wrong. Well, it became very clear to us from very, very early on that your granny had been administered a deadly amount of bleach.
Bleach?
Without her even knowing.
Oh, shit!
Yes, it was definitely bleach, Pet. There's no mistaking it. Her insides were burnt away like the 15 candles on your birthday cake. And the facts, darling, well, they point at one possible culprit. And there's no easy way of saying this, Pet. It was him. It was your dad. Turns out he didn't see the funny side of you and your granny taking his wallet and keys. So he killed her. In cold blood.
I can't even. I.
Now, I know you'll be eager to know exactly how your dad got so much bleach into your granny's system without her knowing.
Well, to be honest, I think I've heard
The
enough.
sweets, cherub.
What?
You gave her sweets to. What were they called again?
Tutti sweets.
They were covered, darling. They had bleach all over them. And your granny? She had a lot. You're damn sure of that anyway. That was the stomach aches, Pep. It was the sweets. She tried to tell you, and you did not listen. I mean, mind you, she must have been blind as a bat not to notice what was on her sweets, eh?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Elijah, I can't imagine the pain that you're feeling right now. I really can't. But it could always be worse. You could be your granny. Murdered. In cold blood. I mean, murdered by her favourite grandson. What must her last thoughts have been? Well, Elijah, I've got some good news, but I've also got some bad news. The bad news is that law enforcement have tried to track down your dad, but it turns out he's quite the slippery customer. Seems he has a way of working around the law with the status and the wealth that he inherited from your gran. I mean, he even managed to hide the fact he'd been burning your gran inside out for months. So my guess it's not even his first time. But that is you, Pet. You see, you're implicated in this because you gave your gran those sweets. And there's no easy way of saying it, Pet. You're going to juvie. You're going to juvie for manslaughter or I guess in this case, granny slaughter. Because by giving your gran those sweets, you made it easy for your dad to ruthlessly murder and destroy your poor heartbroken granny. And law enforcement reports show that her last moments were ruthless and merciless, and she died in cold blood. On the other hand, good news is that law enforcement will be there to pick you up at 8. Elijah, are you there? It seems that Elijah has departed. Well, I'll leave your granny's love with you anyway, pets. What wasn't burnt away, at least, anyway. Thank you for getting in touch. If any of you watching at home have a problem, I could help. If you send your questions or queries to my email, I will do my best to be your guide. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, my little cherubs. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.